Hey friends, welcome to Military Wife Revival Sunday. I'm Teresa Alexis, known as the Military Bride Strategist, and I'm the host of these Sunday revivals for military wives. So please excuse my voice a little bit. I'm a little stuffed up, but I'm all good other than that. So today we're going to be talking about community and why it's important. So happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I don't know how the weather is where you all are, but it's kind of back and forth. It's extremely hot during the day, and then it's like super cold. Hence the reason why I'm a little stuffed up today. So, just bear with me. I hope you all are having a great Sunday. Have fun going to church. If you do that, I watched church online today because of the stuffiness, but my kids went with their dad. So they all went to church while I watched church online and then kind of rolled myself up in a burrito. But I wanted to come on here and talk about community because it's one of those things that I really can talk about forever. And shameless plug, speaking of community, if you are a military wife and you're watching this, you should definitely join Military Wives Collective because it thrives on community. It's why we're all there. And we're going to be doing some new stuff here, gearing up in this group. So you don't want to miss that. So community. Why is it important? So community, and I'm only going to talk about two things on here because like I said, I'm really stuffy. So after this, I'm probably going to jump back into bed and roll over and go to sleep. But community is important because one, it cultivates reliability. It does. I know that in military life, just on the spouse side and in the uniform side, sometimes it can be kind of iffy, really, with making friends and building relationships, just because of the culture and all the things that happens in military life, all the moving parts. So it can be kind of hit or miss when you're trying to find your people, per se. Find your people. And trust me when I say we're all trying to find our people. Both us who've been in uniform or still in uniform and those in the support role. I get it. It's like hit or miss. Me personally, though, my experience has been... Now, I will say, backing up, I will say that I have been in that hit or miss place where it's like, oh, you thought you had a friend, but you really didn't, kind of thing. And I don't sweat it per se because I am intentional and I do reach out to those people who I feel like are my people and they be my people and I be their people, so I try not to harp on or focus on the ones who are not. And I know that's not everybody because, let's be real. When you find out you're somebody's friend and they're not your friend, it does hurt. It does hurt. But, or you're for somebody and they're basically using you. I get it. It hurts. It sucks. And I'm not here to minimize that. I just had to make a decision for myself to say, okay, I am going to now focus on the people who are for me, the people who are in my corner, the people who are, there when I need them. I can rely on them. That's why I said it cultivates reliability. So how do you know somebody's reliable if you're never opening yourself up to even try to build community? And one thing about military life is we thrive on community. We thrive on sisterhood and brotherhood and siblingship, so they don't say it like that, but that's literally what that is. So in turn, us as wives, we need to do that for ourselves. Make sure we have somebody. Us in uniform, it can't always be about the mission. I know. And I get it. I get the tug of war. I get the whole thing. I understand. And military spouses, yeah. It can't always be about what your husband doing, what his rank. It can't always be about that. The kids, the dogs, the whatever. You need to have a friend you can go have a drink with, coffee with, tea, whatever. A Bible study, a book club even. You need to have somebody you can just do life with is the thing. And, I will say this in here too, because I have said this in previous talks, but it's definitely paramount here. You cannot expect to find these reliable people if you yourself isn't reliable. Like, you're going to have to work on that. You're going to have to really work on that and show yourself true. Show yourself as reliable in order to get, and attract those reliable people. Now, I'm not saying you need to do it just to get, but it's also a big part of who you are. When building community, you can't just expect these things from people that you're not willing to give. It's hypocritical, for one, and it's just unrealistic, because then you will become that friend that you complain about that's not reliable. You know what I'm saying? You see how this goes? So make sure you're working on that if you know you lack in that area. Like, we've all been in these situations or seasons or whatever where we just don't feel like doing nothing. Where it feels like we're like borderline depressed, somewhat anxious, whatever. We all get there and we all been there. But I want to tell you, that's no excuse for not communicating how you feel to your friends or to your community, associates, whatever you want to call them, your tribe. I like tribe because that resonates with me, and that's just part of who I am. But I want to tell you, communication, that's going to be important. If you're just not feeling yourself, I'd rather you tell me you just not feeling yourself than to just ghost me and not talk to me. How can I say this? So, yes, I did lose a friend before, and we were good friends. We were okay. We were fine. All of a sudden, she just did not talk to me, probably anybody, but, didn't respond to anything. I would rather to have a message and say, hey, I just need some space. I need some time. I'm really going through something. Whatever. You ain't got to give me details, but say something. I will say, for me, that's a pet peeve. And that's the quickest way to make me kind of question, like, what is happening here? And like, I think some years passed and she finally reached out to me and said, oh, I'm really sorry. I was really going through something, and I understood that and I forgave her, but that relationship wasn't restored. I'm not mad at her, or anything like that, but communication in relationships goes a long way. Like, for me, that was unacceptable to just stop talking to me, and I hadn't done anything wrong. And I knew it wasn't me because, last time we talked, we had laughs and everything, and everything was fun. Plus, we were at like a pool party or whatever. So, you need to be aware of that. Make sure you're communicating. Make sure you're being upfront and forward. I know not everybody is what they call confrontational, and I don't see it as confrontation. I see it as communication. You just have to be smart, have respect, and have some tact when you're talking to each other. So there's that. So, and I would say communicating can be like a form of reliability. I can count on you to tell me when something's up or something's not right. Or if I said something that made you feel some kind of way, even if you're not really sure what the feeling is you're feeling, maybe we could talk through that, And so I'm a praying woman. I've had some friends come to me and say something that I said kind of rubbed them away. They wasn't sure if it was the wrong way or what. And we talked through it. I feel like as mature adults, and I was younger than I am now, I feel like we can talk these things out when building community. So, my friends can really count on me to tell them the truth, to be direct with them, to be honest. One thing I know that nobody will ever say about me is that I'm a liar. People can try to make that up, but the people who really know me will know, yeah, that's not Teresa, that's not Alexis, that's not Lucas, whatever they call me, AJ, whatever, so that will be the constant, like, oh, she direct, she's very honest, she's very straightforward, and it's not like you're trying to hurt anybody. You're just being what you know to be, which is yourself. So it cultivates reliability. Another thing it does is it encourages resilience. And the reason why I believe it encourages resilience is because it helps you to know that you're not alone. A lot of times in this military life and this just world in general, we feel alone when we go through things, when we go through hardships, because, not gonna lie, a lot of people put on a facade that their marriage or their life or their career is perfect, and it's just not that way. And I won't say everybody does that. Some people choose to focus on the positive. I'm one of those people. I'm not about to be posting like doom and destruction all over social media. The news do that enough. I don't need to do that too. So, I try to do positive and uplifting things. So there's always going to be somebody that feels like you're perfect because you choose to focus on the positive. You choose to operate high instead of low and depressed, And even if you're at mid-range, people will see that as something. But it encourages resilience because it not only helps you to feel not alone, but it helps you to know that there's a bunch of people rallying behind you and on the side of you and in front of you, letting you know that you got this. You can keep going. It may look dark and gloomy now. It may seem hard right now, but it's not the end. This is just, my dad say this a lot to me. It's just water under the bridge. It's just another chapter in your book. Yes. That encourages me. And, that lets me know that I can bounce back. Whether it's bounce back, snatch back, reach back, whatever you want to call it. I love the fact of resilience because resilience, what that means is not that, a lot of people would describe me as being tough. I so don't describe myself that way, but it's a part of who I am, but it's not the overall layer. I would say I'm a very resilient person. Why? I'm able to bounce back from anything because I know it's water under the bridge. I know it's just another chapter in my book. Yes, it sucks. Yes, I completely hate it, but it's not going to break me. One of the things about me is I came from a broken childhood. I would describe it as broken. A whole lot of things was happening, that I didn't love, that I completely hated. And because of that, and because I grew up and decided to not only get me a counselor, therapist, whatever, but I also went through coaching, so had somebody coach me, not just on my business, but my life, and I decided that I was not going to have a broken adulthood, Because of that, I would describe myself as resilient. And when you're resilient, you know when that toughness needs to be in action. You need to know when that strength needs to be in action, where to place it, when it's okay to be vulnerable, when it's okay to be transparent, when it's okay to do whatever. And know that from this, whatever this is for you, you can bounce back from that. You can get up and dust yourself off. Even if somebody needs to help you on that getting up, it's okay. So I would describe myself as resilient. And the reason I'm resilient is because of my community. And it's not just people who meet me by chance. I feel like everything is for a purpose. I really do. So it's the people I've met along my journey as active duty. It's the people I met along my journey as military spouse. The people I met on my transition and in my space as a veteran, and in this line of work that I do now. It's all the people and it's all the things. And it encourages that resilience because it helps you build upon things or experiences, I would say, that have happened in your life. It's an experience. And honestly, the thing you're going through, don't you let anybody minimize that ever, okay? It doesn't matter who's got it worse. It doesn't matter who is, less fortunate than you. Everything you feel is valid. And I believe the community I've built in Military Wives Collective gets that. They get that. And honestly, if they're there and they happen to be the people that are negative, they don't stay long because the positive will either transform them or they'll just fizzle out. But I will say that, community is so important. It's so important. So many people are hurting out here. So many people are feeling like they're alone and they just have no hope. And I am on a mission with not just with Military Wives Collective, but with Military Marriage Fest, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But all the things that I'm doing is mission driven. And the mission is to help those build community and know that they're not alone and know that they can win both in their career, both at home, and never have to sacrifice or feel like they have to give up one for the other or that one is more important. They're equally important. And when you have them, I would say, what's the right word? When you have them together and you have them thriving at the same time, like you pouring over here and you pouring over there, You unstoppable. Let me just say, your family, your legacy. Because the military is gonna, still be there forever. But you won't always be in. Your spouse won't always be in. Yeah, let's just be honest. I feel like once the military family always, just because you carry that stuff with you for the rest of your life. You do. Good, bad, and ugly. So with that, I really want to say, community, y'all, if y'all don't hear nothing else from me, know that community cultivates reliability and it encourages resilience. And so with that, I first want to invite y'all to join the Facebook group. If you're over there on YouTube or you're on Facebook, make sure you look up Military Wives Collective and join. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. You join in there and you get into the conversations. We're changing a lot of things in there. Don't be afraid to post, because that's always great. Ask questions, you'll get answers. From me, from the ambassadors, from the other people in the group. Definitely do that. And next, I want to talk about Military Marriage Fest. I want to say this first before I talk about Military Marriage Fest. The military marriages has, since I've been in and been exposed to this, has been the highlight thing that I see all the time. And a lot of what I hear, not always, but a lot of what I hear is always the adverse effects of the military on marriages in the military. And I have to be honest, it's not always bad. It's not always bad. It's just, let's just be honest. It's just like any other relationship, marriage out there where it will always have hardships. But the military has unique things that happen that can possibly make that 10 times worse. I know it. I felt it. Maybe somebody's delulu and they think maybe that's not true, but we know it's true. So military marriages have a unique pull or culture that happens to them. I would say to them. And it can sometimes make you question your life choices, your marital choices, your family choices, whatever. But I'm here to tell you there's a lot to be celebrated with military marriages. And Military Marriage Fest was created to be a place to celebrate and cultivate those military marriages. If you missed the one last year, well, you can always go online and purchase that and view it. But I want to tell you about the one that's happening this year in June 3rd and 4th. Military Marriage Fest will be a virtual retreat this time. Virtual retreat. And it's a 2-day retreat where you can just kick off your shoes, sit back on your bed in your living room, and spend quality, intentional time with your spouse. Now, I will say, it's a little unorthodox, but I love that because that's kind of how it is in the military life. There's nothing that's I know they try to be structured, but really, how structured are you when you can't plan? So, y'all get that. I get that. So Military Marriage Fest was created to be a place where we can learn to thrive both at home and in a career. My specialty is showing couples how to thrive at home, thrive in their career, and never, did you hear me? Never sacrifice either of those. You better have a top-notch career. You better be having a top-notch home life too. You don't need to sacrifice. That don't mean you won't be exhausted. That don't mean you won't be tired. None of that matters. What matters is what you do with the time you have. And that's what we'll be talking about at Military Marriage Fest. We'll be talking about strengthening the foundations, because if your foundation is weak, that whole house gonna crumble. And I mean the house of your life, not just home. Your career, everything that's in that house that you're building. That legacy, shot. Okay? So make sure y'all go to www.militarymarriagefest.com and register. And you can get general admission or you can be VIP level. I encourage you to get the VIP level because you get treats and merch in the mail Because, again, you can watch this virtually in the mail. You'll get it in the mail. And you'll be able to feel special. And you'll feel like you're almost really there at a retreat based off what you get. But I want to tell you, because it's virtual too, it don't matter where you're stationed. You can be overseas. You can be in the States. You know, you can be on night shift. You can be on day shift. It doesn't matter. You either general or VIP, you will get the lifetime pass and you'll be able to view it forever. So if you miss a session or you want to watch something again or hear something again that one of us may say, then you'll have it. You'll have it. You won't have to worry. You know, there's nothing like going to a retreat or going to a conference or going to anything. You're like, dang, I wish I could play back what they said. Right? I know I've been there. So with this, you'll be able to play back what I said, what my speaker said, what anybody said, and you'll be able to have that forever. So there's that. Also, VIP will have a special treat in their box that I will not disclose because it's only for VIP. It's special and it will be in your box that you get in the mail. So go to www.militarymarriagefest and register for VIP. And if you can't do VIP right now, that's fine. Just get your general ticket and show up. Show up for yourself. Show up for your marriage, because we talked about that last week. So be sure to sign up. And if you want to just get plugged in right now, make sure that you go to Military Wives Collective on Facebook and join that group. Answer the questions so you can get right in there and get plugged in. And also, if all of this that I shared was very helpful to you, make sure you like and share this video. Share it with your friends. Share it with your military people you may know. Just be mindful that Military Marriage Fest is happening in June, so you need to get registered today. So go check it out at Military Marriage Fest.